top stories first. Minister of Finance outlines growth strategy for Barbados economy. The NUPW is still hopeful for bargaining opportunity with the government. And major delays at the Grantley Adams International Airport. Welcome to the Nation News for Monday, January 6, 2014. I'm Julian Rogers for the Nation News team.
You want your loved ones around to celebrate, especially those living far. And with Digicel Top-Up, Dad can help you bring life to the party and be part of the celebration. Ask him to send you Digicel Minutes. Receive free instant additional credit. Stay connected here and there. Ask your family abroad to send Digicel Minutes today.
Minister of Finance Chris Sinckler has outlined investment projects the government hopes will inject life into the economy, even as it prepares to send home thousands of workers. Mr. Sinckler met journalists this afternoon and released details of a strategy for growth that critics had been calling for. The projects include a new factory capable of pushing cement prices down, and a waste energy facility, and major road and housing projects. Following are some of the highlights of today's presentation.
We are currently reviewing the operations of 19 statutory corporations with a view of consolidating their operations. The final report will be presented to the Cabinet shortly, and implementation, following wide and intense discussion with our social partners, including the labour unions, will commence in April 2014. If we remain on the present course, as I indicated in the Minister's statement, we will run a deficit of 9% of GDP, which will require that Barbados borrow over $1 billion in this financial year at high interest rates, and this is simply not sustainable. In an effort to preserve public sector jobs and maintain social services, despite the recession, the government has already undertaken a number of measures to increase revenue. And we are of the view that more taxation will not be part of the solution at this point in time. The analysis that we have undertaken makes it clear that government's expenditure needs to be reduced by a further $143 million at a minimum over the full financial year. And meeting this target will mean an inevitable, unfortunate though it might be, an inexplicable loss of jobs in the public sector.
The National Union of Public Workers is still apparently looking for some sort of reprieve for those hundreds of drainage workers dismissed with the Ministry of the Civil Service. General Secretary Dennis Clark told a news conference that the unit had sent correspondence to the Ministry of the Civil Service this morning on the matter. He said it was unfortunate the workers had been sent home before January 15th, the date government had set to begin public service retrenchments. And the union is hoping that the ministry would respect that date.
We will hope that the minister responsible for the public service would intercede, and the window of opportunity that was promised, well, at least that small bit of the window of opportunity that was promised, that is lived up to, where we then can look at it.
The government needs to fast-track financially viable projects if it wants to help the private sector navigate the troubled economic waters. The incoming head of the Barbados Private Sector Association, Alex MacDonald, made this comment to reporters after a luncheon meeting for business leaders hosted by Central Bank Governor Dr. Delisle Worrell.
That there would still be a lot of work that government needed to help us with in terms of facilitating, getting projects fast-tracked and moving forward. And if once we could get those things done, that we would be more than happy to work alongside, not that we have ever abandoned working alongside government and so on, but that there would be a positive reaction from the private sector should we be able to get faster turnaround, either yes or no.
Around 100 passengers seeking to leave the island via JetBlue were met with further cancellations today, prompting some of them to vow never to fly with the airline nor even visit Barbados again. Thousands of flights to and from the United States have been canceled as much of the country is facing freezing temperatures. Nation News understands that some frustrated passengers have been trying to leave since Friday. but they've been told the earliest they can do is this Friday.
At Courts, every day we bring affordability, convenience, innovation, and style to over 1 million customers in 11 countries. From homes to communities, we are proud to make a difference in the lives of many across the region. Courts, bringing value home.
Now to the rest of the region. In Jamaica, a 12% increase in the minimum wage took effect today, but some employers have expressed frustration with the move, arguing they've not had enough time to adjust. Wages are now a minimum $5,600 Jamaican dollars. That's about 105 Barbados for a 40-hour week. The head of a small business group has said the businesses would need to increase revenue or cut costs to meet the pay raise. Well, 2 weeks after heavy rain caused death and destruction in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, residents there are bracing for the passage of another weather system. Forecasters say the system is expected to produce moderate to heavy showers over the Windward Islands from sometime tonight. Meanwhile, the government there says schools, which are due to open today after the Christmas holidays, remain closed for another week. And finally, a New York politician is being accused of putting a Caribbean curse on a rival in the form of a black magic mural on her building. It's been reported that Gwen Goodwin has filed a $1 million lawsuit against City Council member Melissa Mark Verity, who trounced Ms. Goodwin in the Democratic primary for the seat in September. The primary winner is accused of having artwork of a decapitated chicken painted on the building where her opponent lives. The suit allegedly cites neighbors as saying that in Caribbean culture, the mural constitutes a curse and a death threat. Well, something at least bring a smile on your face. And that's the Nation News for Monday, January 6, 2014. I'm Julian Rogers for the Nation News Team.